Hey! So, I don't know if you guys have ever done any personal development, if you read any books, or if there is a certain person you always listen to in your car. But I'm sure you've heard that, oh, I should do some personal development. I should read a really great book that helps motivate me, or do something that can make me think or challenge me in a different way. And I think that's the best advice ever because I started getting involved with more personal development probably about a year or two ago. I started reading more books about doing more. My very first book was Eat That Frog. It was a recommendation by someone. And since then, one of my biggest learnings from that book was to always try to learn and better yourself. Learners are earners are learners, leaders are readers, readers are leaders. So I love that saying, and I fell in love with the idea that putting more emphasis in your own development as a person is really what is going to make you better in any career. And I wanted to take a specific example that I'm reading this book called Good to Great. I just finished it, and I just had this mind-blowing motivation at the end. The book is about companies and why they go from just an average, pretty good company, very successful, to a great company. And they talk a lot about level 5 leadership. They talk about getting the wrong people off the bus, the right people on the bus. They talk a lot about some other stuff that, here and there, I'm like, oh, I can kind of connect that to my life. This, yes. They talk about a hedgehog concept, things like that. But what I loved was the last 2 pages. Honestly, this whole book was worth it for the last 2 pages. Why? Because it talks about that question of, well, if you're successful, do you really need to be great? And they started asking a lot of the CEOs about, what gave you that push to be great? And specifically, there's an example of someone who became a track coach at a high school. And she had an MBA from a very prestigious college. She, majored in economics, and she could have done all this stuff. And she ended up being a track coach. And why did that track coach not only choose that, but why did she choose for the track team to become great? And she said, well, it just seemed like the right thing to do. It just seemed, and I believe I'm quoting, it says, that's a really good question, long pause. It's really hard to answer, I guess. It's because I really care about what we're doing. I believe in running and the impact it can make on these kids' lives. I want them to have a great experience and to have the experience of being part of something absolutely first class. And it goes on to talk about how maybe economics and that just wasn't fulfilling for her. So she would have been okay with success. But it just wasn't a passion of hers. So it didn't get her anywhere in the economic world or in the business world. But she found something she loved, and all of a sudden it just made sense. And that's what I got so excited about, because that's what happened to me. I fell in love with TurboKick, and I just started going with the next thing after that because I just love it. I have such a passion for it. And it's never like, oh, I have to be the end-all, best-all. I just really love it. I love going to classes. I love taking them. I love teaching them. I love working on form and technique. A lot. Well, sort of. But anyway, I love TurboKick. I do. And I love PiYo and Hip Hop Hustle, and I love helping people. I found that passion. So being great isn't a question because I just want to be a part of it. I want to help people. I want to develop people. I want to get people to feel like they're honoring their potential in way more ways than TurboKick. But that's how it started for me. I had this passion, and I realized that I could help people. And at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. And that's why going from good to great doesn't seem like it's a lot of work, because I have the passion for it. Now, is it going to be hard? Am I going to have setbacks? Am I going to fall flat on my face? Probably. Most likely I will, and it will get tough. But when you have the passion and you know you're doing exactly what you were meant to do, when you feel like you can be the best at this, and you have that drive, all those setbacks, they're just tests. They're setting you apart from everyone else. So look at life that way, and I love that because it doesn't have to be, and he even mentions it in the book, it doesn't even have to be in your business life. It could be at your church. It could be with your kids. It could be volunteering. Find something in your life that being great isn't even a question because you just love it. You found that passion. You found something that you can just be the best at and own it. And I think personal development, getting back to the whole reason why I started this little blog, is because personal development has just amped me up and motivated me to teach my next class, to go to my next class, whether I'm teaching or not. I can't wait because, oh my gosh, that's my passion. That's what I want to do. I can't wait to talk to my next friend and see how I can help them with nutrition, with fitness. I don't even care. Maybe I just even talk to a friend about their next goal and they really want to be the best chef in America, and I'm going to be there for them because they found that passion. And I hope you do too. And maybe it's because you read a book that sort of gets your mind starting. Maybe it's listening to a mentor in the car. I listen to Jim Rohn, I listen to Chalene Johnson, I listen to Darren Hardy in Success magazines. I just read Leadership, well, didn't read, I listened to Leadership by Giuliani the other day. It's just, this feeling that I have right now, all from personal development, I mean, you gotta find that. And it's such a challenge for your brain, it's good for you. So think about doing personal development if you haven't already. I highly recommend it, obviously. And I think you'll be surprised how often what you're reading about or thinking about or doing about the most will just naturally come out in other ways. So give it a try, and if you do give it a try, please let me know about it. I would love to hear about the new personal development that you started, or some new book you read, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, anything, and see how it impacted you. So share it, because the more people you share it with, the more likely it's going to get imprinted into that brain, and you're going to stay with it. It's going to stay with you forever. And a little piece, and a little piece, and a little piece, and just watch yourself grow. It's pretty cool. So, have a great day. Enjoy.